Welcome back to Pewdiepie. I'm Zui and I hope you enjoy today's video. But before we get right into it, I'm obligated to remind you to click either the like or dislike button, commenting something down below, and of course, sharing the video after you finish watching it. If you have any suggestions or ideas for a story, my Discord link is in my link tree that is down in the description, as well as my Patreon and Ko-fi for any donations you may want to send my way. Anyways, let's get right into it. A rush of emotions hit you like a brick wall as you watched your high school bully, Billy J. Michaels, approach you with his goons. So far, the group of bullies hadn't seen you. However, you were concerned. You bit your lower lip, knowing full well he would push you into a corner without cameras and do things to you. The man knew exactly how to hurt you in ways that couldn't be traced. At least, he never went that far. And by that, in a certain direction that would leave you scarred for life. But still, you'd really like to avoid any confrontation with the 18-year-old. Quickly, you looked behind yourself and sighed in relief. There was one door. Sure, it had employees only written on it, but what could possibly go wrong? The most famous last words of every drunk guy with a motorcycle and a ramp in front of them. Feeling like a cheeky child about to play a prank on their parents, you quickly weaseled into the employee-only room. As you slowly backed away from the now closed door, you sighed in relief. All you needed to do now was wait here. God knows how long, and pretend you never were here to begin with. Hoping this closet had something to spend your time with, you turned around and almost shrieked. A yawning, dark abyss outstretched before you. Oh no. It had been a beautiful spring morning during the Easter holidays. You were an 18-year-old high schooler, and this year you would finally graduate. In preparation for this, your dad sent you to various places around your city to apply for internships, so that there wasn't a day when you were out of school where you didn't have a job. Your job search had sent you across town, and not having a car was kind of a huge handicap. Your search had led you to the Fazbear Entertainment Mega Pizzaplex. Try saying that 5 times in a row. Of course, they weren't hiring at the moment, but also you had come all this way and paid the entrance fee, so might as well. You could enjoy your day at the Plex. So far you had played 4 rounds of Phaser Blast, and you would have played more if the day shift guard, some lanky dude, a guy named Brian, had sent you on your merry way for kinda ruining it for the other children by always winning. After all, you were 18 and they were like, what, 8 to 12? Other people at your age would have probably just flipped the guy off, but you're way too timid for that. Plus, you were 18, so if the franchise banned you, it would be permanent. And you really enjoyed the yearly summer special at the Megaplex, called the Exotic Palooza, where all the animatronics would be dressed in Hawaiian shirts, play those funny drums that made the pleasant ding sounds, and of course, Pineapple Fizzy Fizz was finally available again. You had made it your personal mission to drink at least 1 cup of that a week whenever the special was in progress. You scratched your chin as you looked into the blackness of what you assumed were some sort of maintenance tunnel. You couldn't help but feel both excited and curious. After After all, it wasn't every day a customer could get a peek into the skeleton of the megaplex. You turned on the flashlight of your phone. Its tiny LED light just barely enough to penetrate the abyss. Slowly you inhaled, then exhaled. This was exciting. And then you took your first steps forward. The maintenance tunnel was in pure blackness for long, as you happily noticed. It seemed that every 50 meters there was a small white neon tube attached to the concrete wall. Some of them were a bit weak and clearly needed replacements, but man, this place was still super cool. Sure, maybe a bit dusty, and the droning of the ventilation system was making you a bit nervous, but still, this was better than having to listen to Billy's insults. Lucky for you, it wouldn't be long until you got the company of a certain moon-faced animatronic. As while you were wandering the darkness, the daycare attendant just finished his routine checkup in parts and services.
Tell me, Doc, do I have a couple screws loose?
Asked the machine-on-duty engineer Kevin, who was comparing notes with the results of the maintenance. The portly man looked at the robot with a slight chuckle. Well, screws were always loose with you. But the non-metaphorical ones did the arms already correct, so no need to worry.
Good. So when do I have to go back to my daycare?
G-engineer shrugged. It's closed for the day because of your checkup, so probably when night shift takes over? The robot growled.
So what am I supposed to do until then?
Kevin grinned. Oh no, and honestly I don't care. I can shut you off if you want and tell the night shift to turn you back on. The animatronic's eyes widened in fear and he took a step back.
Anything but that.
Then the machine put a finger on its chin.
I'll figure something out.
Kevin yawned and then stretched. Fine with me. I have a lot of stuff to do off-site, so tell me any issues now so I can get going.
What off-site issues?
The man smiled. Well, if you have to know, there's a Glamrock Freddy at another location whose voice box is broken, and I gotta fix that. Then in the town over, someone is interested in purchasing a DJ Music Man for their franchise, so I gotta do some inspections of the arcade, and finally, I gotta clock out at the right time to attend my son's karate practice. The robot had listened intently to the man and now jumped up excitedly.
Make sure you get your nap time, Kevin. That sounds like quite a busy schedule.
For a moment, the engineer went into thought, genuinely considering if there had to be a moment today where he was able to take a nap. Maybe after karate.
Good.
The engineer soon left the machine alone in parts and services. And for a few minutes the robot twiddled with his thumbs, pondering why the hell he was programmed to fear boredom. However, then his thought process was immediately diverged as his sentience prevention software activated. In response to that, he turned his attention to the door to the maintenance tunnels. And he made the active decision to clean them up if even possible. Through some twists and turns, you had reached a really warm room. It was illuminated by a red light coming from multiple lamps on the ceiling. It most definitely was the boiler room. Your head turned slowly from left to right while walking past them into another dark tunnel. By now you had almost forgotten why you were here. Actually, being down here was the most entertaining thing you had experienced in a while. In a haunted house kind of way. That changed, however, when you entered a black corridor. That at the end of it had two red glowing orbs that were staring right at you. At first you didn't even realize those were eyes, and you continued walking. But then, you saw them move. Your heart stopped for a beat. A metallic voice whispered something in a threatening tone, but they were too far away to make out any words. Worst of all was you being completely paralyzed from fear as the thing approached. They were halfway towards you and finally you turned and ran, your footsteps echoing from the tight concrete hallways. Sprinting past the boiler room, you ran into a dead end with a few crates inside of it, where you hid. Your heart raced, and you were holding your breath in sheer panic. Your back pressed against the heavy crate, you remained sitting. Until seconds later, two metallic hands grabbed the edge of the crate you were hiding behind. A red glow hovered above you. Shaking, you looked up into a white, grinning moon face.
It's past your bedtime.
With a flushed head, you were walking next to the animatronic who had scared you half to death. After roughly pulling you out of your hiding spot, he had threatened to file your misbehavior, so that an actual human employee could then ban you for trespassing. However, you haggled the machine down to simply escorting you out of the maintenance tunnels. As the two of you were walking, the robot suddenly began to speak.
Curious. Why are you even down here? Are you just a rule breaker? If the reason is good enough, I promise I won't file your infractions.
You shook your head. No, you stuttered. I was in the Western Arcade, playing the arcade port of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, when I heard someone's voice. The robot looked at you with interest. It was nice having someone to talk to and actually listen to what you had to say, even if it was just a machine. It was the voice of my bully and his gang of nitwits. And when I saw them, I guess I just panicked and ran down here. Moon's face tilted upside down.
I see. Calculating response.
For a moment he went quiet.
Response not satisfactory.
Oh. The machine then hit his head.
Maybe you should tell an adult.
I'm 18. The machine stopped walking and just looked at you.
You are? Wait. Adults still do bad things with each other?
I mean, yeah.
I thought you're supposed to leave childish things behind.
You shrugged. Just because we're supposed to doesn't mean we do. He narrowed his eyes.
I guess. But doesn't your programming force you to flash those emotional beats you're not supposed to have?
Well, we're not machines, we're humans. It doesn't work like that. We're biological. The robot crossed his arms.
Response not found.
You smirked. Am I confusing you? Moon shrugged and then continued walking.
You could have just waited in front of the door.
And passed the opportunity to explore this place?
Nah. I guess.
You looked at your companion. And what are you doing here? He hissed.
I've been undergoing maintenance today. So they closed my daycare the entire day. for just 1 hour of routine checkups. It's ridiculous. But I understand. I could have been broken, and the repairs could take longer. Still, it's annoying. I can't check if my children are having their nap time. Or not. I'll have to rely on grown-ups to be proper parents for their children. It's scary.
Okay.
I take my job very serious. I'm quite literally built for it. Thank Afton for maintenance, though. I understand it's needed. I don't want to fall apart while trying to lull a child to sleep. Imagine I have a toddler in my arms, and then they fall off. That would be terrible.
You shrugged. Yeah, that sounds scary. He looked at you.
So you agree? I like you. You're not like the other teens.
I'm 18. I told you, I'm not a kid anymore.
Technically, Fazbear Entertainment considers anyone legally not allowed to drink Monty's swamp juice as a child or child at heart. Since you're under the age of 21, I therefore cannot refer to you as an adult.
Monty's swamp juice was moonshine with very, very low alcohol. That was being sold in Gator Gulf to, well, adults. Mostly to fathers, who were really interested in the southern aesthetic of Gator Gulf. I guess, sure, whatever. Moon giggled.
I like you. You're fun.
You blushed. Well, I like you too. You listen to me. No one else does. He stopped walking for a moment, looked to his right, into a different hallway.
Let's go this way.
He hushed. Why? The exit is just a few...
I said follow me.
You took a step back, but he was already going forward. After catching up to him, you simply asked, "Why are we going this way?" The robot snickered.
You're being hunted by bullies, correct? I'm programmed to lead you outside, correct? You don't want to leave the tunnels. Scared you run into the bullies. So we're going along a route. You avoid your bullies. I fulfill my programming. Everyone is happy.
You opened your mouth. That was incredibly nice of him. And then you smiled. And gently leaned against him. Moon stopped walking for a moment. And the two of you looked at each other. "Thank you, Moony," you said before leaning forward and kissing the machine's forehead. "You're a good boy." The machine, however, jumped back, his eyes glowing a bright crimson as he jumped up and down.
You kissed me! You kissed me!
Both hands pressed against his cheeks. Did I break you?
No, no!
He now pushed his entire body against your chest.
I don't know how to compute this! I'm panicking!
In this minor freakout, he almost banged his head against the wall, so you quickly took hold of him. Tightly hugging the machine, he eventually calmed down.
Response calculated.
You slowly let go of him. And? He tilted his head.
I accept it. And smile.
He tilted his head to the other side.
And blush if I could. What I mean is, thank you.
Today's episode has been suggested by Discord user Melofia. Thank you for your kind suggestion. Also, that underscore Zui is a nice touch. It shows that you're a real fan, and I greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a good day.